From Morse code to emoji. How 180 years of technological innovation transformed the way we communicate, from dots and dashes to digital faces, and what it means for the future of human connection. Here's our roadmap. We'll start in the 1840s with the electric spark that shrank the world, the telegraph. Then we'll see how voice took over for a century before the digital age pushed us back to text. That brings us to the star of the show, the emoji. We'll look at the numbers, weigh the criticism, and ask what it all means for the future of human connection. 6 chapters, 180 years, one timeless story. Let's go back to 1844. Samuel Morse sits in the Capitol building in Washington and taps out 4 words, "What hath God wrought?" Miles away in Baltimore, those words appear nearly instantly. Before this moment, the fastest a message could travel was the speed of a horse. Now it moved at the speed of electricity. By 1865, Morse code was internationally standardized, and when Marconi sent it wirelessly in 1895, he created the first mobile text message. Those dots and dashes were the first true digital binary language, ones and zeros, a full century before computers. Morse code, for all its genius, was slow. You had to learn it. That changed in 1876 when Alexander Graham Bell spoke the first words ever transmitted electrically. "Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you." Suddenly, you could hear a voice, the warmth, the urgency, the personality. Radio followed, broadcasting one voice to millions. For over 100 years, voice dominated long-distance communication. But here's the twist. Voice calls are ephemeral. They vanish into the air. In losing the written record, we lost something we wouldn't rediscover until the digital age arrived. Now let's fast forward to the 1970s and 80s. Computers, networks, glowing screens. Communication was about to change again, this time swinging back to text, but not the text of trained telegraph operators. Text typed by everyone, everywhere. And that shift created a problem nobody saw coming. What happens when you strip the voice out of human communication entirely? Email arrived in 1971 and SMS in 1992. Suddenly text was everywhere. And there was a problem. When you type, you lose everything your voice carries. Tone, pitch, facial expression, body language. You could be joking and sound angry. You could be sincere and sound sarcastic. In 1982, computer scientist Scott Fahlman proposed a fix. The emoticon. A colon, a dash, a parentheses. A smile turned sideways. It was clever, but it was a band-aid on a much bigger wound. Billions of text messages flew across the world daily, and most of them carried no emotional signal at all. The real breakthrough came from Japan in 1999. A designer named Shigetaka Kurita, working for NTT Docomo's iMode mobile platform, created 176 tiny images, just 12 by 12 pixels each. A heart, a smiley face, weather symbols, food. He called them emoji, E for picture, moji for character. In 2010, emoji were adopted into the Unicode standard, which meant any device, anywhere in the world, could display them. What started as 176 pixels on a Japanese mobile phone has grown to over 3,600 standardized symbols, the closest thing we have to a universal digital language. And the numbers back this up powerfully. 92% of people worldwide use emojis. That's not a niche. That's nearly everyone on the planet with a smartphone. In the workplace, the impact is striking. 79% of professionals say emojis help them share ideas more quickly, 62% report they boost team morale, and nearly half say they actually reduce the need for meetings and calls. These aren't trivial findings. They suggest emoji aren't decoration. They're efficiency tools, compressing emotional context into a single character that would otherwise take an entire sentence to convey. Of course, not everyone is celebrating. There's a real tension here. On one side, critics argue emoji are dragging us backward, toward a kind of pictographic illiteracy where we point at symbols instead of constructing thoughtful sentences. And they have a fair point. A thumbs up means great in the US, but can carry offensive connotations in parts of the Middle East. Meanwhile, 26% of email recipients say emoji make messages feel less professional. But the counter-argument is backed by neuroscience. Research shows emojis trigger the same neural responses as face-to-face interaction. They're not replacing language. They're restoring the emotional dimension that text communication stripped away. The debate isn't settled, but the evidence leans strongly toward emoji as a net positive for human connection. So here we are, 180 years after Samuel Morse tapped out, "What hath God wrought?" We've gone from dots and dashes across a copper wire to faces and hearts zipping across the planet at the speed of light. The tools have changed beyond anything Morse could have imagined. But the fundamental human impulse? It hasn't changed at all. We want to reach across distance and say, "I'm here. I understand. I feel something." That was true for every telegraph operator in the 1840s, and it's true for every emoji you'll send today. The medium evolves, but the message, the human hunger for connection, that's eternal. Thank you.